Hello and welcome back to Karma Stories. I'm Rob and I hope you are having a wonderful day today. Today I have a single story with a couple of updates, but it's from two OPs. It's an interesting one that you're not going to want to miss out on because it has a really crazy twist right after the first part. Before we start today's episode, just asking all of you who are over on Spotify, if you're not following the show over there already, please do so. We're getting so close to that 6,000 follower mark, and only 25% of you listening and watching over on Spotify are actually following the show. So the 7.5 of you out of 10, please hit that follow button, and then you'll be seeing my content more often. All right, let's jump into today's story with epic updates. It's time to jump right in. This story comes to us from Kayla Harper 90. Am I the butthole for demanding to check my brother's girlfriend's bags before they leave my house? A bit of background here. I, 39 female, have a brother, 32 male, who I'll call Chase. Chase has been with this girl, 35 female, that I'll call Vivian, for almost 2 years now. About a month into their relationship, Vivian got pregnant with my nephew, who is now almost a year old. Vivian also has 2 daughters, 5 female and 8 female, from a previous relationship. Her daughters are very close in age to my daughter, 7 female, and up until last weekend, everyone got along fine. They live in a different state than us, but come to visit fairly often, and stay with us because we have the extra room. Last weekend they came to stay again, and about an hour before they left, my daughter noticed that a few of her favorite toys were missing. The girls were playing all weekend, so I didn't think much of it, and offered to help her look for them. After about 20 minutes of searching, we could not find the toys anywhere, so I asked Vivian's girls if they remembered where they were playing with them last. The girls said no, but acted a little guilty about it. I asked Chase and Vivian about it, and Chase said he saw the exact toys in the room that Vivian's girls were sleeping in. We went to check and they were not there. He asked Vivian if she had moved them when she packed the girls' things that morning, and she said they were not there. We went back into the living room, and I saw Vivian's girls huddled close together over a backpack, and quickly closed it when they saw we were there. Chase asked the girls again if they knew where the toys were, and this time they didn't say anything, and just looked at their mom. Chase reached for the bag, and Vivian lost it. She started yelling at me, how dare I accuse her daughters of stealing? And she tried to snatch the bag away. Chase opened it, and there were the missing toys, plus a few more. I was absolutely furious. I told her I wanted to see what else she had, and demanded she open the 2 suitcases. She said that was an invasion of her privacy, and tried to take them and leave. Chase stopped her, and made her open them. She had taken several tops, a few skirts and dresses, and a brand new pair of Nikes that belonged to my daughter. I took everything back and told her she and her girls were not allowed back into my home. I have since received several texts from her and a few unknown numbers telling me I embarrassed her and upset her girls because they were promised the items. Chase is upset with her, but said I was too mean to her in front of everyone, and that I could have handled the situation more privately. I do feel awful that her girls left crying, but am I the butthole for how I handled the situation? OP added an edit down below this one. It says, edited to add answers to a few questions I keep getting. I'm not sure who promised the girls the items. She would not elaborate, but I'm assuming it was her. She wanted me to pull her aside into a different room away from Chase and the kids to talk this situation out. Also, yes, I'm 99% sure the baby is his. He is almost a carbon copy of my brother when he was a baby. I do not believe the girls knew they were stealing the things. I really believe that their mom told them I said it was okay. We have never had problems with the girls before this. They really seem to be good kids. Also, I'll be talking with my brother tonight or tomorrow to discuss things further. Edit number 2, I will be speaking with my brother in about an hour. I have been in contact with someone that knows her, and a lot has come to light. I will update again if my brother says I can, as it's his life and not mine. Vivian is not at all who she claims to be. OP edited the post one more time, and this one says, thank you all so much for the responses. I'm sorry I haven't been able to get to everyone's comments, as I really didn't think this would take off. I talked with my brother last night, and showed him a lot of your comments and suggestions, and thanks to someone in the comments, we now know a lot more about Vivian and the kind of person she really is. I will not be able to tell you everything, but I can tell you that my brother and nephew are now staying with us while he gets a DNA test and proceeds to cut ties with her. I may have more to give you all in the coming days or weeks, depending on what the paternity test says. Again, thank you all so much. Now, Opie mentioned a couple times here that somebody down in the comments gave them more information about this woman. I found those comments. They're from a user called Mysterious Cow 3423. It said, "This story sounds very familiar, but not for the reasons others are saying. Do the initials KAS apply to this post at all?" Opie responded to this one and said, "Please message me." So at this point, a bunch of people in the comments realized that Mysterious Cow 3423 knew who Vivian, aka KAS, was. OP confirmed that in their updates as well, that they were talking to somebody who gave them more information on Vivian. Well, Mysterious Cow 3423 decided to put up a few posts of their own, so let's get into the first one now. This post is titled, "The Legend of KAS." Well, this has certainly blown up, but who am I to deny the people of what they want? KAS lore. For obvious reasons, I'm going to be a little vague with certain details for privacy reasons. Mainly, I don't want this crazy train coming back into my life, and hopefully you'll understand why by the end. So buckle up, bitches. This one is long and wild. And please don't judge me, we don't associate with any of these people anymore, and haven't for over a decade. Also, I will say that she is a very pretty girl, and has usually gotten whatever she wants from men, so she's not used to hearing no. 2005. When I was 18, my then boyfriend, now husband, and I were invited to a house party hosted by a friend of a friend to celebrate graduation. We knew about half the people there, and had been to the house a handful of times before. We were all hanging out in the basement, and after a few drinks, I went upstairs to use the bathroom. And that's where I met KAS, who was 14 at the time. The bathroom door was open, so I walked in and turned on the light, but to my surprise, there she was with some guy in the bathtub. I apologized and found a different bathroom. About an hour later, she came downstairs where the rest of us were and locked in on my boyfriend and made a beeline for him. Keep in mind, I am right next to him. She tries to sit on his lap, and when he pushes her off of him, she pops back up like a demented jack-in-the-box and immediately starts screeching about how she was just playing. "You aren't even hot, and you could do so much better than her," to him. We stayed another hour or so and left. A week later, she was blowing up the guy's phone that she hooked up with, telling him she was pregnant. When he didn't believe her, because honestly, who would after just a week, she tried to press charges. I do know my boyfriend and I both had to talk to a police officer because we were both there, and I was the one that walked in on them. I don't know what happened after that, but the charges were eventually dropped. 2009. My husband and I are 22 and she is 18. We are now married and living on the East Coast because he's in the military. We come home for his parents' 4th of July party and get tasked with going to get more ice. He runs in to pay, and I'm standing by the ice chest outside waiting for him, and guess who shows up? She walks straight up to me and says something along the lines of, she's glad I finally learned my place, and that her and my husband have been so happy together for the last year. She also made some very vulgar comments about things they do together. I don't even have time to react to her when he comes back outside, and she goes pale and then bright red. This crazy bitch then had the audacity to look at my husband and ask him what he wants for dinner that night, and tried to remind him of plans they have that weekend to go to the lake with her family, while he just stands there staring at her like a dumb butt and then asks if he knows her. I absolutely lose it and almost piss myself from laughing as she stalks off. Once we are back to his parents, he gets a Facebook friend request from her and deletes it. Over the period of 3 days, she sends him 4 or 5 friend requests, so he blocks her. We go back to North Carolina the following week and forget all about her again. 2010. I am now 7 months pregnant with our daughter, and we fly back to our hometown one last time before she's born. Of course, run into KAS again at Walmart. I know how it sounds, but we're from a town of about 5,000 people, so you kinda see everyone all the darn time, whether you want to or not. I'm noticeably pregnant as I'm about 7 months along. I'm also only 5'2", and at this time weighed about 115 pounds, so it was very clearly a baby bump. She is with her sister, and they seem to be following us, but we try to ignore them. We are now checking out, and again, they are right behind us, still acting like children, but in her defense, she was 19-ish at the time. We are still ignoring them, and her sister says fairly loudly, "He'll dump her now that she's fat." We continue to ignore them and leave the store. Later that day, a friend tells us to check Facebook, and lo and behold, there is a picture of me in the snack aisle with the caption, "When you catch your surrogate buying nothing but junk food," and so many comments agreeing how horrible I am. This psycho had been telling everyone that I was the surrogate for her and my husband's baby. We filed a restraining order the next day. 2018, we moved back to our hometown and buy my family's farmland to start our own cattle business. Highly don't recommend if you like to be able to make and keep plans, see your family, or take vacations. As far as we know, she has gotten married and is living her life away from us. About 6 months into us being back, we get a letter in the mail from a family lawyer saying my husband needs to present himself for a paternity test, and we are being sued for child support. Apparently the baby girl came out white, and KAS's husband was not. She told her husband that my husband had assaulted her and that it was his baby. Charges were filed, and thankfully we were still in North Carolina at the time of conception, and the Army is very meticulous about knowing where their soldiers are at all times. The charges were immediately dismissed, as was the paternity test and child support. We filed another restraining order and installed cameras all over our property. Her husband ended up adopting the baby, and they stayed together. 2020, she makes the front page of our town paper. Apparently KAS had another baby girl who also did not match her husband's skin tone. He kicked her and the kids out, and one night she came back to his house in full view of his security cameras in her own car with the kids and set his porch on fire. The husband got temporary custody of the girls for about 2 years while KAS was in jail. 2023, she gets the girls back and dips out of state. The husband files a police report and everyone is looking for her. Unfortunately, the husband passes in a car accident the same year. 2025, I'm doom scrolling on Reddit and see a story that sounds very familiar, and here we are. Reasons I thought it was her from the other post: her and the girl's ages. We knew she had a baby boy recently. She has a history of theft and immediately playing the victim when caught. We still have a few mutuals on Facebook, so I do see her post from time to time, and knew she moved in with the new guy, OP's brother from the other post, about 1.5 years ago. Well, I think that's the meat and potatoes of it. I'll be around later this afternoon to answer any questions. I may have some of the dates off, but heck, my memory is trash these days, and I try not to think about her or any of those crazies. Jumping into the comments on this one, we have one from a user called Copernicus2345. It says, "Her fixation on your husband is so scary. Hopefully she continues to leave you alone. I also hope her kids turn out okay, because between the other story and this one, it sounds like she has many personal growth opportunities." OP responded and said she has tried to reach him via social media a few times, but we don't really do Facebook or anything like that anymore, and just try to live pretty private lives. I really think part of it is jealousy, because he's one of the few that never fell for her charms. Like I said, it's a very small town, and she really is a pretty girl. Another commenter down below called NikkiJean91 said, "As batcrap crazy as this chick is, I'm super glad to see you and your husband have stuck by each other's side. That part makes me happy for you." OP responded and said, "Thank you, he's my best friend and has been since 8th grade. The crazier thing is, he's not the only one she's latched onto over the years, but I don't feel comfortable telling other people's stories." One more commenter down below called I Can't Hug Every Cat said, "Be prepared, she's crazy and she'll come back when she reads this story on Reddit and realizes it's about her and maybe reads this too." OP responded and said, "We have enough to get another restraining order at any time. We also have security cameras all over our property and a few dogs that are the embodiment of wish an MF would." I can't help but sit back and just think after this story that KAS had an absolutely horrid upbringing. Either that or they were the rebel child that did exactly what they wanted to do and didn't listen to anybody else from a very young age. Alright, our second OP put out another update 3 days later. This one is titled KAS Update. Hey all, this is probably going to be the last KAS update for a while. It's been a rough 48 hours between some issues we're having on the farm due to 4 days straight of rain and KAS finding the posts about her. I'll try to be brief but give you guys an update as to what's going on. I have been in contact with the OP from the first post and have permission to include a couple updates from her situation as well. KAS has been arrested. Her girls are safe with OP's brother and they are all back at his house. She found the post and went feral with comments and even a post which included a picture of my husband she took from my Facebook that I have since had to deactivate. We called our local sheriff department about the harassment and learned that she had an active warrant. I was able to get in touch with OP to find out exactly where she was, and they contacted the law enforcement agency in that area and they went and got her. We have pressed charges as well. Right now, she's looking at stalking, harassment, child endangerment, resisting arrest, and assault on an officer, among the charges she already had pending. I knew what might happen if I responded to OP's post, but I do not regret reaching out to her or exposing her antics. What matters is everyone is safe, and she is being held without bond. An update from the original OP, the girls are safe with my brother and he has all 3 children. He has been awarded temporary guardianship and will be getting them into counseling in the coming week. I tried to press charges, but as the items never left my home, I was unable to. We will have the results of the paternity test next week as well, but no matter the outcome, he will be trying to get full rights to my nephew. Additional information from the second OP. Guys, I have several messages asking for a picture of her. Let me make this very clear. I will not be doing that. I will not be posting her picture on here. I will not be posting her picture in some random group on Facebook. I am trying to protect my family along with the family of OP of the first post. Heck, at this point, I'm also trying to protect her girls. Stop asking for her picture and pictures of the girls. Jumping down to the comments on this one, there's one from a user called Freckles101. It says, "You've done the right thing. You might have saved these girls from a lifetime with that scary woman, so thank you for stepping out of your comfort zone to do what's right. I hope you get peace from her now." But as with most crazy people, that likelihood is slim. As for KAS, she needs help. Obviously, she's not going to try to seek it on her own, but maybe now her kids have been taken off her, it might force her to do something. Another commenter down below called Strawberry Feeling 693 said, "Holy smokes, OP. I haven't read anything this engaging in quite a while. I admire your integrity and wisdom. It sounds like your husband has those qualities as well. Too bad KAS was given looks, but none of the really valuable stuff. You're also a very articulate writer. Your random doom scrolling just altered the fate of who knows how many people. Sometimes it's difficult to see the benefits of having character and being good people when it seems like most of the world are cashing in or being heard for the opposite. I think smart people like you know this is the only way to live though. Your post makes me feel better about the world and happy you're raising kids of your own. May the sun shine upon you, the wind at your back, and your crops and rivers pristine and bountiful." OP responded and said, "Thank you, you are so sweet." So at this point, we've heard from the original OP and the second OP. We know that KAS, aka Vivian, is in jail, and the kids are doing okay. Well, there's still a few more updates, so let's get into the next one now. This update doesn't have a title. It says, "Good morning all, I have a couple updates for you, but first we need to discuss some things. I appreciate all the love we are getting from this, but some of you need to check yourselves. I will not be posting pictures of her. I will not be linking articles. I will not be posting mugshots. I will not be posting her court records. While yes, all of this is public record and can be found online, it will also expose our names, addresses, and personal information. If you ask, you will be blocked. If I have to block enough people, I will delete this account and then no one will get updates. Sorry to be a butt, but this is our lives, our home, and I have to put us and our children's safety first. I have also had a few questions on why we moved back with all of this going on every time we came home. This farm has been in my family for over 120 years, and I will not be giving that up over her. Now on to the updates. KAS is still in jail and will be held there until her court date in the coming months, after which she will be transferred back to where she was arrested to face charges there that include child endangerment, resisting arrest, and assault on a police officer. We have had a few people ask if we are safe, and yes, we are. We have security cameras that run 24/7 on all structures, barns, houses, sheds, garages, everything out here both inside and out. And while yes, part of the reason we have them installed was because of her, the main reason is we own a working cattle farm. Farm accidents happen all the time, and our insurance is a lot less if we have them. So no, we're not just being paranoid like a few have hinted at. I mentioned in a comment that her brother owns a trucking company that we work closely with, so I was able to fill him in on everything going on. He is talking to original OP's brother to take in the girls, and they have a family court hearing on Friday and will hopefully be living with their uncle soon. He is a really good guy and his wife is amazing. If they were anything like KAS, they would not be working for us, and I believe they are the girl's best option for a normal upbringing. Now on to the baby boy. Chase is the father. He already has a lawyer and given the circumstances should be able to get full custody and rights to him going forward. I will update again after the hearing on Friday as we will be going with him to help him get the girls. As far as I know, KAS has not reached out to check on them since being arrested. Oh, and no, her late husband's accident was not her doing. He was driving home one night after being at the bar and went off the road. He was found the next day and there were no signs of foul play. It was determined that the most likely cause was he was intoxicated, an animal ran out in front of him, and he swerved to miss it but hit a tree. Jumping down to the comments on this one, we have one from a user called No BS For Me. It says, thanks for the update. Life isn't a Netflix miniseries where every question has a tidy ending, but it appears that KAS won't be wreaking drama and trauma on your family, at least for a while. It sounds like the best case scenario for the girls and Chase and his son going forward. I hope your cattle and fields have dried out and your farm prospers for another 100+ years. OP responded and said, thank you, we have dried out, but we had a levee break, dumping a half-acre pond into our calving barn. Total loss. Thank God for insurance. Now, OP updated this one last time and it was 5.5 months later. It's titled Final KAS Post. It says, hey all, it's been a minute. I don't know if anyone even cares anymore, but I have a final update. The girls are now in custody of their uncle, KAS's brother, and his wife. They started school this fall and are doing absolutely great. They are a little behind, but are so smart and catching up quick. Baby boy is with his dad and also doing great. KAS is locked up and will be for at least the next 3 to 5 years. She pled guilty to a lot, which expedited the process, but did reduce the jail time. She signed her rights away to the baby, but not the girls. That is still ongoing, unfortunately. Jumping down to the comments on this one, there's one from a user called BigRich898. It says, so glad to hear there is a relatively good end to this saga. OP responded and said, best we could have hoped for, honestly. Another commenter down below called BlueWolf2231 said, good update, OP. I hope things will start getting better for you and that other OP now that KAS is no longer an issue. I hope the girls aren't hurt by any of this and live a much better and happier life. OP responded and said, like I said, they were a little behind academically and they do have a few behavioral issues, but all in all, they are really good kids. They are doing so much better than anyone expected and are in therapy. We even had them out to the house a couple times to see the new calves, and they really enjoyed themselves. Well, I don't know about the rest of you listening to this saga, but I feel like original OP, and especially second OP, have not heard the last of KAS, or Vivian, whatever you want to call her. Unfortunately, in my experience, crazy always finds a way to keep themselves involved. I just hope that when KAS gets back out, they don't make the second OP's life a living hell, and that the kids get to stay with the brother because it seems they're very stable there and getting a good start to their lives. I'm sure there will be another update on this one 4 or 5 years down the road, but I don't think it's gonna be a good one. Alright, we'll go ahead and end this episode here. If you enjoyed this one, make sure to follow us on your preferred podcasting platform. If you're on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the video. It really does help us out. I thank every one of you for watching and listening. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.